Welcome back. You're now tuned into the other side of sports. It's your boy Laws in the building. Today I'm rocking out solo dolo. I'm let the crew off, let Earn off for the holiday, celebrating Christmas. Yeah, bro. This week was a wild one with the NFL games, basketball, all types of stuff, dog. Just was going on. But for fantasy owners, this was the semifinals to go into the finals for fantasy. And your boy, I listen, dog. Next year I might have to charge Bammers for the cheat sheet on who to pick, players to pick, how to win, the formula for how to win your fantasy football championship. I mean, I be telling people and then they don't want to listen to me. I be trying to give Bammers, side advice, be like, oh, you need to do this with your fantasy football team. You need to do this, you need to talk to these players and stuff. Your boy in 3 championships. I'm in 3 this year. How did I get there? Yeah, it's a little bit of strategy. You need a little bit of flukery. It just is what it is, young. And you can't be tied. There's a few rules you gotta abide by when you playing fantasy football, because if you don't abide by these rules, they can just come back to haunt you. One of the rules is, unless you have to play the player, like if they're a stud, avoid them Thursday night games, young. That's the first rule. Then second rule is you want to try to stack your roster for the late games, meaning like if they play Sunday night or if they play Monday, if you got players on your team that can like fill those spots. I'm not talking about scrubs, but you want to try to stack your team for the back half as best as you possibly can so you can make a points. It's a lot of tricks to the trade, you know what I'm saying? But holler at me if you want that advice, because I'm in 3 championships. I got the matter of fact, in 2 of the leagues, I'm in back to back. So I went last year to the chip, won the gem, and then this year I'm going back to the chip. I'm going to win again, because that's what we do over here. That's what I'm just trying to keep. I know Bounds be sleeping. Yeah, some of my young boys, they come, they be like, oh yeah, who should I pick? Boom, boom. No, if you follow the formula, you're gonna be in the chip. Just bottom line, straight like that. Uh Fantasy is tough though. I ain't even gonna hold you. There's a lot of stuff that happens that you just can't control, and there's an element of luck in there, like where just stuff happens. I mean, for this particular week, I'm gonna get into the games, but the fluke thing that I needed to happen is I had Amari Cooper on my team, though. And if y'all follow the game, Bama Amari Cooper almost put up 50 points by himself. Had 265 yards receiving, 11 catches, 2 touchdowns. Bama went hamburger, no cheese. And he just happened to be on my roster. And I just happened to play him, dog. I mean, I can't say whenever you put your roster together, you never can say, like, oh, I know this guy's going to go off like that. You never know they're going to go off like that. But if you're fortunate enough to have that type of guy on your team when it matters, and not be playing against that guy when it matters, that it can do wonders. So that dude, one player basically sprung me into the championship for these leagues, because I had Amari Cooper in multiple leagues. In one league, I got in the championship and I didn't have Amari Cooper, but I'm just nice like that. So but that it is what it is. If you playing fantasy football next year, you tired of losing, you like, oh, I just don't know who I need to pick or how to make this work in your favor. Come holler at me. Come holler. I might gotta charge a fee now. Before I just be giving free advice, but now the proof is in the pudding, dog. I'm going back to the chip every year. Like, it is what it is, bro. Just holler at me. I can help you out. We can do that. But on some sports, last night you had the Monday night Christmas joint. 3 games on Christmas. I like what the NFL is doing. They taking over the weekend, especially until the bowl NCAA bowl stuff start going down. They just done took over the weekends essentially. So you getting football on Saturdays, you getting football on Sundays, you getting football on Mondays, and I mean, you know, definitely tuned in. But last night you had the Baltimore Ravens and you had the San Francisco 49ers, and the Ravens just put a mud hole in the 49ers. We just gonna keep it 100. And a lot of people were like, Brock Purdy, you know, fool's gold. It's Bama sorry for real. He ain't like that. He don't got no arm strength. They're just slandering the man, dog. I mean, of course, last night was a big game. And to lose the fashion you lose, throwing 4 picks, seeing Ghost out there, it just does not look good. And it basically knocked him of the out of the MVP talk. So you can go ahead exit Brock Purdy out of there. But this is the thing which I need to know. Brock Purdy's not sorry. Brock Purdy is really good. He's a good quarterback for the system that they have and how they put the players around him. Kyle Shanahan's tricked everybody because he really has a dink and dunk system with playmakers that can break tackles, that can get loose, that can, if you get a block here or block there, they can spring it and and run 60 yards and score. And we've seen that a lot from them. When you watch Brock Purdy and his downfield throws, a lot of them is to open areas. He loves to throw that crosser. He loves to throw the under post. You know what I'm saying? He throws that post. You don't really see him throw like deep outs or streaks or corners. He don't really throw those passes very often. A lot of the passes he throws when he's throwing downfields is dig routes on the inside, the post, to the middle, and usually he throws the post under, so where the receiver got to come back to it. Brock Purdy is really accurate in his passes. Well, not last night because the Batman was saying ghost and he was throwing behind receivers. But for the most part, he's throwing into the windows. He has great anticipation, and he plays. He does what you want him to do from a coaching standpoint, right? He protects the football. He doesn't, he's not really careless with the football. I just think that last night the Baltimore Ravens just were prepared. They're an elite defense. They gave him different looks that he wasn't accustomed to seeing. They had active hands. So, them little passes, the hands was in the air, Jones was getting pushed up in the air, and they was just taking it away. And, Brock Purdy is not accustomed. Most of the teams they play, their offensive line is just dominant. Trent Williams and the guys they got up front just give him a lot of pocket time to be able to look and survey the field. And in this situation, they was just on him, dog. It was in his face all night. He was getting pushed around. He was feeling the pressure, and it showed in his play. And the Addo was saying, if you pressure any quarterback, it's just going to show up. Like you get pressure on any quarterback, you're going to see them make mistakes, throw the ball early. He wasn't trying to get hit, so you saw him kind of throw the ball and turn his back. The old Eli Manning type move. So it's just a testament to the Baltimore Ravens and the pressure they put on them. Lamar made another case for himself as MVP. If Aaron was on here, he'd be telling you how he told y'all that the Baltimore Ravens was real and that they were going to the Super Bowl. And, everybody's kind of made Lamar an afterthought, but Lamar keeps getting it done. The referee tripped him up in the first quarter, caused him to. I'm like, dog, you cannot call a safety when the referee's in the way. The referee's in the way, dog. Get your black bobblehead self off the field, bro. You tripping up the play. It's just like, dog, it bothers me when and granted, I'm not saying he did it purposely, but with all the cheating at the NFL and the manipulation of the game, you don't know where the Stearns orders is, dog. You just never know. So I'm not gonna put it past him, but I'm gonna just say, from my opinion, it looked like it was an honest mistake. Like he was trying to get out the way and he just fumbled his feet and whatever. But it was just crazy because Lamar's he's a dynamic player. So it was like, no, let him. He would have got loose, or at least been able to throw the ball out of bounds. So, that was a little fluke call there. But the Ravens showed you why they are Super Bowl contenders. And they looked like they were prepared for this game. Maybe it was the other teams that the San Francisco 49ers that played and how they manhandled them to where this team was just up for it and they were, ready for it and not coming in there and sleeping and, underestimating the team that they were going to get. But yeah, I think this knocks Brock Purdy out of the conversation. Christian McCaffrey, he still played decent, still had a touchdown, still had a lot of yards, but ultimately, right, when you talk about MVP, you're talking about like winning in these big games. And so, if even though he had a solid game, the fact that they lost and they lost handily to the Ravens, I just think just knocks them off the pedestal. And this, if you're looking for somebody to blame, because everybody's always looking for someone to blame. It's like whose fault is it? Who's responsible? I mean, is it Kyle Shanahan's fault? I mean, you look at his record. Sometimes Kyle Shanahan get a little cute with the play calling, and he just, I feel like this situation, like, it's tough. I have to go back and actually like analyze it to say how much of the blame I put on Kyle Shanahan versus like, Brock Purdy and his inability to kind of do the things that needed to happen in this game, but I feel like it's shared responsibility, so. But I'll give it a closer look. Other Monday night game, you had the Giants and the Eagles. Eagles really, maintain control of this. Nobody expected the Giants and Tommy DeVito to actually really compete. Well, somebody did. Some people did. I mean, I anticipated the Eagles to win this game, even though it's a divisional matchup, and they, Eagles won. They didn't look all world. The defense has looked really pedestrian as of late. And I don't know what the cause. I know they've tried to add some pieces and try to fill and plug some holes, but it still looks like, you saw Tyrod Taylor come in and move the football. And I don't know if this is Tommy DeVito is done. And now it's Tyrod back in the driver's seat. And the whole Tommy DeVito fan club is like out the window or laid to rest. I don't know what this means for Tommy DeVito, but I think everybody really anticipated the Eagles to win that game, and they did. Now, this is the kicker. The Raiders and the Chiefs game was a little like, I mean, right now, Antonio Pierce deserves a job. I'm just gonna keep it 100 with you. If the Raiders fail to hire long-term and give Antonio Pierce a job, the Washington Commanders need to be the first one knocking at the door, because what they did to the Kansas City Chiefs is I don't think he's getting enough credit. You had a rookie quarterback who you basically didn't let throw no passes in the second half, and your defense really put the clamps on Patrick Mahomes and those basket catchers. Yeah, I'm saying basket catchers because they really, no, it's bad when your running backs probably have the best hands on the team. It's bad when, and probably Jerick McKinnon probably got the best hands on the team. Him and Kelsey probably got the best hands on the team. And everybody else is just a long way far behind as far as being able to catch. And you just see the frustration of not having catchers on your team, hand catchers on your team. And we saw, for the most part, Patrick Mahomes he's been good. He's been solid. Whereas you walk away from the game and you be like, well, that's not on Pat because he was making the throws and he was putting the ball and the dude just dropped it. This game we saw Pat Mahomes make some mistakes, and it's really a testament to the level of pressure that the Los Angeles Raiders got on him all night, dog. They was just on him, and they were relentless in their pursuit. And it just seemed like they had a game plan from start to finish. I watched the game, and then going in the half, I'm like, Raiders going to let this go. And they just continue to put pressure. They got the pick six. They just, they made it really, really tough on the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Kansas City Chiefs, that run defense, it just started to fall apart as the game went on. And it looked like they were not prepared for this level of intensity that the Los Angeles Raiders came and brought to the table. And it was evident. And so, when I look at like coaches and things you want in a coach, one of the most important things you can do as a head coach, and this is what like separates the good head coaches from the bad head coaches. The good head coaches have this first thing all in common. They have their teams prepared to play a physical football game. Antonio Pierce had his team ready last week and this week to play a physical, competitive football game from start to finish. And that, they were prepared. They were prepared from a game planning standpoint and what they were going to see from the Kansas City Chiefs. They were prepared from, offensive game plan standpoint and noted, you looked at the stats from Aiden, the quarterback. It just looked real regular. It could have put me out there and I probably could have got more stats. But that to me, that just shows the level of coaching is very, very high because you have deficiencies offensively, but yet you don't make no excuses. You find a way to still get your team in a position to win. And they understand the magnitude of the game. They understand the team that they're playing. They understand what they need to, the objectives and what they need to accomplish. And then they go out and they execute, right? And whatever mistakes that are made, they figure out a ways to compensate for those mistakes. They figure out a ways to not let those mistakes be the determining factor for them losing. And in this game, we always say it, football, if you win the turnover battle, you likely, the chances you winning are just that exponentially higher. And in this situation, they won the turnover battle. They got the Kansas City Chiefs to turn the ball over multiple times. And that was the difference maker. And for me, Antonio Pierce is at the top of the food chain as far as coaching hires. And the reason is because he's doing a lot with a little. And he's doing a lot more that's expected with a little. And I think that if you allow him, he's already put a stamp on the team. You got to let him, you got to see where this goes. You got to let him, give him a 3-year deal contract. Let him just continue what he's doing. Build the way he wants to build. Add the pieces he wants to add. It's always a 50-50 toss-up when you come into evaluation. But what it seems to me is with the people that he has in place, he's able to get the most out of them. And that's impressive to me. That's impressive to me. Because, this team was looking a lot different before Antonio Pierce got his hand on it. And this team looks very competitive. The chances of them winning and going to the playoffs is very, very slim, but they still have a chance. So I'm very impressed by that. The Washington Commanders they looking for head coaches. They need to throw a bid out there and just see if he's available, dog, and throw a number at him that he can't resist. You might be able to, and I don't know, it's wishful thinking, but he's the defensive-minded head coach. You could bring him in, maybe keep Eric Bieniemy, pair them two together. That look like that sound like a winning formula to me. I'm gonna just keep it 100. Sound like a winning formula to me. Patriots, Broncos. Patriots, they beat the Broncos by 3 points. Last game-winning field goal. It was hard for me to keep up, dog. I don't know about y'all, but it was Christmas. I'm with the family. We hanging out. I'm trying to watch Red Zone and eat with the family Christmas dinner. It was tough, dog. It was tough to do. So I wasn't locked in like I usually be locked in, but I was locked in enough to kind of figure out what was going on. And I did see the Cowboys lose in the final moments of the game. We stayed up at the Gaylord this weekend, so we we walking around the jump. They had TVs in there, and I'm seeing the Dolphins. I mean, I thought Dak played solid, and by all accounts, they had a lead late in the game. But Dolphins, though, they have a high-powered offense, and you know, shout out to Tua. Got him in field goal range. Mayman hit the field goal, and they go to 11-4, and the Cowboys go to 10-5. So Dolphins look like they riding high on the division. Props to the Dolphins. Um, we'll see what they do the next couple of weeks and how they manage that, and still monitoring Tyreek Hill and his ankle in that situation. Yet to be seen. Bears must hold the Cardinals. Nobody's surprised by that, but yeah, come on, Bears, keep winning. But it didn't really matter because they got the Panthers pick. So right now, it looks like they're gonna be picking number one. Buccaneers must hold the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, is Trevor Lawrence a franchise quarterback? That's a question I have for y'all. Is he a franchise guy? Because he's been healthy and he's played, and I know it's just these injury things have just come up as of late. This is a must win, and the Bucks with Baker Mayfield look like they trying to make some noise at 8-7. I just think at some point the real Baker Mayfield is going to show up and he's going to turn the ball over 3-4 times, and then they're going to be out of it. But for now, they look solid. Defense looks solid. Offense looks solid. Mike Evans looks solid. White looks solid. They look solid. Seattle was in a burner with the Titans. They etched it out, got the win against the Titans. Came down to the wire. I'm glad the Seattle Seahawks won this jump because if they lost, they'd be like, "Oh, we should stick with Drew Lock and put Drew Lock back in and this and you know how it go, bro. You know how it go already. That's just how the business is. So at least this a quail that for another week at least. But yeah, they got the W. Then we got the Commanders almost ruined the season, though. This young almost had my blood pressure. I'm like, dog, why are y'all trying to win this? Winning for the Commanders is the worst, absolute worst thing they could do. And they almost did it. They almost did it. Jacoby Brissett and them coming in. It's like, bro, finally, Aaron is vindicated. This Bama, I call him the QB savant guru because he just be knowing certain things I like overlook. And, of course, when it comes to your team, I kind of at times look with rose-colored glasses and stuff. And, I want to like Sam Howell, dog. I think he has some good arm talent, above average arm talent, if you ask me. But, the anticipation is bad. His processing speed is bad, and those things you just need them. And Aaron's he's under the idea that those things you can't really increase that once they're not there. Like if slow processing speeds, like you can't take the chip out like and put a new chip in. Like it's just whatever processing speed you got is what you got. I'm of the thought process that it can be improved with time and exposure and you seeing more stuff. So then, you can process quicker because you become more familiarized with what you're seeing. You know what I'm saying? But Sam Howell, bro, like at least these last couple weeks, we're just seeing that some of these things are just they are repetitive in nature. And I just think you got to get to the top of this draft board and get a game-changing QB. You get Jaden McDaniels, Jaden Daniels, or you get Caleb Williams, dog. Them the only. I know there's some other guys, but right now, without me watching all the game film and tape, those are two guys that it's there. You got upside through the roof with those two guys. And if you starting over, let's just start the whole thing over. I don't want to keep none of the old pieces, though. We getting a brand new car. I don't want to keep the radiator. I don't want to keep the engine, the transmission. I don't want to keep the tires. I don't want to keep nothing on the old whip. We getting rid of that junk. We upgrading. We getting the Benz. Not going back to the Nissan Sentra, dog. No, we don't want none of them parts on this new car. If the Washington Commanders is completely starting over, everything must go, dog. Everything must go. And that's just essentially where we at with it. Because we know this is the end. This is the end. So at this point, I, the Washington Commanders do not need to have a quarterback controversy right here at the end of the season, though. Please play Sam Howell and just let him stink it up, though. Please. Please. Jacoby Brissett brings too much confidence to the quarterback position to where they'll actually have a chance at like being competitive. And I don't want no parts of it, though. They gotta just lose everything, dog. We filing bankruptcy. We starting over. I don't want none of the old. Just start it all over, bro. Please, just start it all over. Cause I just started all over. Please start it all over. Yeah. And who they play this week? They play San Fran. Yeah. I mean, Jacoby Brissett can play this week, but it's still an L. But I'd rather Sam Howell because then when you lose, it doesn't seem like you tanking for real. It'll just be like, dang, Sam Howell some trash. Like, you just let it be. But nonetheless, they lose to the Jets, which is fine with me. I'm good with that. No harm, no foul. Do not win another game, please. Right now, all these teams won, and you sitting at 4-11. Yes, you got to hold on. Got to hold on. You tied with the Patriots. You picking 3 right now. Patriots might get another dub, and then we can pick number 2. Number 2 might get you. Definitely 2 gonna get you Jaden Daniels, or it'll get you Caleb Williams. One or the other. It just depends. The Bears at the number 1 spot. Hopefully they don't get a quarterback and Caleb Williams falls to you, and then the Commanders can have a whole new life. Yeah, but that's where we at with it. That's where we at. Then we had Thursday, the Rams beat the Saints. Pachua went off. He cooked. Yeah. Rams trying to hang in there. They fighting. Bengals lost to the Steelers 34-11. Steelers, I mean, it seemed like Mason Rudolph is their guy. But I don't, it's fool's gold to me. He's better than Trubisky. He was able to move the ball, but I think after a week of game tape, I just don't trust it. I don't trust it. But yeah, Steelers beat the Cincinnati Bengals, moved to 8-7. Bills, they barely squeaked past the Chargers. Chargers gave them all that they wanted. I mean, it looks like, once they fired the head coach for the Chargers, you just saw a more spirited team. So they're another one of those rosters that's going to start over from square one, and it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But Bills, they were able to get by. They still in the playoff hunt. And they out here trying to play and win. Colts they laid an egg to the Falcons, and it's disappointing because the Colts defense is a lot better than what they showed, and it just seemed like they were not prepared to play a football game, and that from a basic standpoint is so critical and crucial because playing week in and week out, people don't understand what it takes to get your team up for a game and prepared to play each of these football games that have significance and mean something. And you just saw that the Falcons were up for this game. They understood the magnitude of it, and they came with that prepared mindset. And the Colts just was not. Packers barely beat the Panthers. Panthers came and gave them all they want. And again, you're seeing a more spirited football team in the Panthers, who's, at this point, they just kind of going with their quarterback because they don't know how it's going this offseason. They don't have their first round pick, and it's been given to the Bears. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But the Packers, they kept their playoff hopes alive. They got another big one. Let's see if they can be prepared to play a football game. I would expect them to come out in this next game and really be ready. But again, 30 points to the Panthers. Joe Barry, we talked about it last week. Joe Barry is some sauce. He's some sauce, people. We're going to keep saying it. And as long as he's on that roster, this is the Packers you're going to see. A Packers that will have some offensive shine, but give up a lot of points because their defense, despite the players, are not put in a position to be successful. It's just the bottom line. And it's so apparent. The Panthers put up 30 points. That's unacceptable. Unacceptable. Browns, as I spoke earlier, Amari Cooper went hamburger, no cheese. He went off. Joe Flacco and the Browns sitting at 10-5. What's happening? Joe Flacco trying to come back and get some more money. He's like, hold on. Y'all kicked me out for the young boy in Baltimore, but I'm going to come back and get some bread. I can still play this thing. And he's looked solid, decent. Now this brings up some issues. What are you going to do with Deshaun Watson? You done paid him all the bread. The contract looking like a bust. Because now you got 38-year-old, 41-year-old Joe Flacco, however old this Batman is, out here getting buckets, scoring on squads. So the Browns just going to push that to the back of their mind while their season is still in play. And they just going to ride behind the Flacco train and just hold on to it. But I'm telling you, once the season is over, which it will be, because Flacco, he got deficiencies too. And when they play a tough enough squad, it's going to show. They'll be back at square one figuring out this whole Deshaun. That jump will just come back to contract, paying all this money. I don't know. Maybe they take the Batman to court, try to get the bread back. I don't know, bro. But it's a debacle in Cleveland, a different kind of debacle. I mean, they can ride the horse right now. You know what I'm saying? Ride this Christmas cheer, but it's gonna be over soon. Lions, they took care of business and beat the Vikings. They played up for the game, and it was evident that the Lions was ready. 11-4, they locked up the division. They looking sweet. This week we got the Cleveland Browns, New York Jets. I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets cover the spread at -7. I mean, the Browns should win, but again, these roller coaster rides, the Jets defense is a lot stronger than, it could be interesting. So I wouldn't necessarily count out the Jets in this one. If William Carter play though, Zach Wilson play, go ahead, count him out. So I'm going with Cleveland in this one. Detroit Lions at the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys, trying to keep that NFC East situation in their grasp. They're going to play the Detroit Lions very tough. I don't see the Dallas Cowboys winning -6, but I see the Dallas Cowboys winning. Then you got Miami at Baltimore. Baltimore is favored -3.5. Miami coming off a big win. Baltimore coming off a big win Monday night. Short turnaround. This is a tough one. I like Miami to cover, but I think Baltimore is in peak form right now, and so I'm gonna just go with Baltimore to win this game. I don't know that they'll win it by 3.5, but I got Baltimore winning. New England Patriots at the Buffalo Bills. Bills are favored -11.5. I think that's a little high, but I am going with Buffalo to get the W. New England's look different with Zappy. I'll just say that. They should have went to Zappy a lot earlier than they did. They should have went to Zappy week 2 or 3. Matter of fact, they should have even started this year with Mac Jones. I told Batman, we said Mac Jones was some trash last year and said, why are they playing him last year? Then what is the definition of saying? continue to do the same thing, expecting a different result, it makes no sense to me. I'm going Buffalo Mudhole. Atlanta Falcons at the Chicago Bears. Uh, I'm gonna go with Atlanta to cover the 3. Right now, they got Chicago favorite -3, but I don't think Chicago need to win no more games. I mean, I know that what do you call it is trying to make his case. Justin Fields is making his case for being a starting quarterback for Chicago. Actually, I need Justin Fields to cook. Please cook so that first pick, they don't pick no quarterback. They get an offensive lineman or receiver or something other than a quarterback, and then the Washington Commanders can be right in line to get the top tier quarterback in this draft. So y'all can go ahead and cook if y'all want to, but I just think Atlanta's going to win. Tennessee Titans at the Houston Texans. Texans are 3.5 favorites at home. CJ Stroud probably will be back if he clears the concussion protocol, which they need him. Tennessee, I just think that they were right there on the cusp trying to get a W, and that loss just kind of sealed their fate as far as opportunities to keep their playoff hopes alive. At 5-10, that's not going to cut it. So I just think that they'll be in sit everybody down mode and not really eager to try to compete. They'll be playing backups, a whole lot of funny business. So I think Houston will get the W minus the 3.5. Las Vegas Raiders at the Indianapolis Colts. Colts are favorite -3 at home. I'm going with the Vegas Raiders. I think that they're just hungry, and I think they have a belief. And I'm telling you, the worst thing you can give a sorry team is confidence. To feel like they have the ability to kind of win or be in the mix. And I just think that they have that, and they're gonna prepare. I'm just going by what I've seen. Antonio Pierce, he's had his team prepared. This is 2 weeks in a row. Can they do it 3 weeks in a row? Be prepared to play a team? I think so. I'm going with the Las Vegas Raiders. Carolina Panthers at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars are favored -7. Jaguars have to win this game. They lose this, Joe, you can just go ahead, shut it down. Shut it down. And they're having a different conversation if they lose this game about Trevor Lawrence and just the future of that football team. And I know it sounds crazy. You're like, what? Y'all ready to you think Trevor Lawrence? I'm just saying we need to start having a conversation about it. Is he the franchise guy? Because if he is, then y'all need to be winning. And granted, I think some of his issues is coaching, but like we've seen Trevor Lawrence turn the ball over a lot, put the ball in harm's way, kind of just, the connection between him and his receivers has been a little bit off. It's just a lot of things. I know they lost Christian Kirk and that hurts them, offensively, but it is what it is, though. That's what the league is. People lose players, and you have to overcome the difference between winners and losers. Is winners figure a way to win, though. They figure a way. Los Angeles Rams at the New York Giants. Giants are underdogs at home +6.5. I'm going with the Rams. Rams look like they're hungry. Giants defense an easy bake oven. And Giants offensively just, outside of Saquon, they just really don't have a lot to offer. Maybe Tyrod, but Tyrod is brittle bones. This Batman is so fragile. I can't even expect him to play 4 quarters, though. So I'm just going with the Rams. Arizona Cardinals at the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles are favorite -10.5. I'm going with the Eagles minus the 10.5. Arizona is another team. Don't need to win no more games. They right at 3-12. So right now they picking 2. But let them lose. I need the Cardinals to go and get a W. I just don't see it happening. They've been fighting tough, but Philadelphia Eagles is just a better team. So I got Philly to win. New Orleans Saints at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay's favorite -3. Saints lost to the Rams. It's a divisional matchup. I'm going with the Saints. I think the Saints will come out and play with some pride in this one. It's away. It's in Tampa Bay. Um, but I think at 7-8, Saints still trying to have a chance, and they'll play Tampa Bay tough this week. San Francisco at the Washington Commanders. San Francisco's favorite minus 13.5. I think that's generous. I probably got, San Fran beating us 31-12, 31-13, something like that. Yeah, I'm going with San Fran. Pittsburgh Steelers at Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks are favorite minus 3.5. I'll take Pittsburgh as the underdogs in this one to cover. Cincinnati Bengals at the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are favored minus 7. I'm going with the Cincinnati Bengals to cover the 7. I think the Chiefs will win, but I think it'll be like 23-20 or 26-21, something like that. Definitely over the 44.5. Los Angeles Chargers at the Denver Broncos. Broncos are favorite minus 5.5. I got the Chargers. I got the Chargers plus the 5.5 in this one. Green Bay Packers at the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings are favored minus 2.5. I'm taking the Green Bay Packers plus the 2.5. And those are the games for this week. Yeah. So those are the games. Anything else going on in sports? I mean, the Wizards some trash. Jordan Poole some trash. Does he even have trade value? This Bama slipping and sliding on the court and all. It's disheartening. Now, I was leery and skeptical of Jordan Poole when he first came. I just, when people say all the right things, the off break that jump rubs me the wrong way. Like when I feel like someone has an answer for everything, to me, that's problematic to me because I'm like, bro, like it sounds too good to be true. And apparently that Batman don't like to work. He don't work, dog. You can tell, you can see he not putting the work in. And, for whatever, I mean, he got paid, bro. I'm not even saying I'll be any different. You give me 100 plus million, I don't know that I'll be in the gym working all that hard, bro, to try and make sure my game was right and I carried the team. But again, I'm not in that position to be able to say, like, I would think I'll be different. I'm cut from a different cloth, but who's to say, bro? When the money's in your hand, I might be at Baskin Robbins chilling too, bro. I don't know. I don't know. But we gonna see. I don't think there's really nothing else really happening sports wise that I missed today. I hope everybody had a joyous Merry Christmas. Um, and getting ready for this new year coming up. Yeah, so I mean, ain't no real news. Trevor Lawrence dealing with the AC sprain. We knew that. TJ Hawkinson out for the season with torn ACL, MCL. That's tough. Rudolph going to start for the Steelers coming up. Zach Wilson cleared. Jets won't. He's not been cleared yet, so he probably won't play Thursday. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I ain't even watch a lot of basketball yesterday, but I saw the Nuggets beat Steph Curry and them. So I mean, that's no surprise there. But yeah, I mean that's it. Follow us at OSS 980 at Other Side of Sports. Shout out to Where's Buffy. Shout out to Sports Talk Tasha. Shout out to Lance J Radio. Shout out to everybody. Everybody who rock with us heavy. Hey, in 2024, we try to get these numbers up, man. Go ahead, share the podcast. Let people know you rock with us. Of course, we appreciate everybody who rocks with the show. My man Wes, everybody who listen week in and week out, I appreciate you. And we got some things coming down the pike. Rock with us, and we out.